So recently, Shoya Chiba finally made his solo debut, and I said that I was going to talk about him quite a lot, so it starts. No, it actually doesn't start, it is a continuation because I have already spoken quite a lot about Shoya Chiba and his solo debut with Blessing, his first EP. But now let's dive into it a bit more and talk about how amazing this CD is and how groundbreaking it ends up being. So let's kick off this episode of SEIYUU Lounge. Welcome to SEIYUU Lounge, my name is Vanessa and today's topic is Shoya Chiba's first EP, Blessing, is actually a really good CD. So yeah, I didn't think that well about the title. I wanted to make this episode as organic and natural as possible, and the only way for me to talk really excitedly about music, I still do when I write scripts, but when I write scripts I'm paying close attention to how I'm speaking and how I am giving intonation to the words and such, so right now I'm not paying much attention to that, I'm letting it flow. If it works, and I hope this episode ends up being interesting for you to listen to. In January 2024, Shoya Chiba made his solo debut with the first EP, Blessing. How good of an EP is this one? Amazing. If you haven't listened to it, I believe that you should skip this episode because I'm going to spoil the heck out of it. If you do not want spoilers about this CD, if you have not listened to it and want to go to it with a blank slate, please stop listening to this episode and return to it when you listen to the EP. The EP is actually 25 minutes long, so that should be over in a blink of an eye. Or if you are like me, you will spend your full afternoon listening to Kanjoron and you will forget completely about this podcast. It's okay as well. So, let's talk about Shoya Chiba's first EP, Blessing. So, what is this EP about? Which is a really good question to start off. And because I needed questions to actually reduce the time that I talk about this EP, otherwise you will be getting an extended version of 8 hours of me talking about Shoya Chiba's EP, and by the end of it all, if you actually survive it, you will be sick of me and sick of Shoya Chiba, so I do not want that at all. So, what is this EP about? This EP is about Shoya Chiba showcasing his strengths as a solo artist. That's the first thing that you will notice. And it's obviously the very first thing that you will notice because a first EP or a first CD for any kind of artist is a way to showcase who they are, what they want to do, what their ambitions are, and what or how they perceive their fans. In this EP, especially in Blessing, the last song in this EP, Shoya Chiba is actually thanking his fans and is making sure that they understand that he is really thankful for his fans for supporting him in this journey, and he wants you and me to actually be present as he continues to grow as an artist. I love this kind of concept, but most of the times SEIYUU artists tend to make it quite cheesy. This time around it wasn't cheesy, and I felt, especially because I was manifesting this debut for so long, that I actually got goosebumps in some of the songs because I was so proud of what he was doing, and I couldn't believe myself that this EP sounded almost like a sophomore CD or a third or a fourth album. It doesn't sound like a debut EP at all. And of course, this EP focuses on that, on showcasing that he has a focus as an artist. He wants to create the best music that he can deliver to you, music that he is happy about and that he wants to create, which is a big difference because most SEIYUU artists are not performing the music that they like or the music that they want. Mind you, especially pop artists, they usually are not performing the music they like or that they want. This is something that you need to really assess. Of course, they seem happy when they are performing, you will say. And of course, because they are happy because that's their job, and because they know that by the end of the day, they are entertaining their fans and putting a smile on their faces. But are they really performing the music they like? That's a different thing. Sometimes the music they like doesn't sell, and they need to make an educated choice here. Are they going to release music that everyone likes and that sells well, but they do not like it that much? Or are they going to release music that they love a lot, it doesn't sell that much and will completely or almost completely alienate their fans, that's a choice to be made. For example, Soma Saito made that choice and his music is not for everyone. It's actually pretty niche. In this case, Shoya Chiba is performing pop rock, and in this EP he makes sure that you understand that these are his roots. The music that he most listens to, the music that he loves the most is usually pop rock, the type that is exciting but also can be quite emotional, and he delivers that across the 5 songs that you have in this EP. When it comes to the music genres that this EP explores, you will, of course, as I said, see a lot and hear a lot of pop rock music in here. And that's perfectly okay, and it is really well done, and it's not cheesy at all at any time, which is a blessing. Not to basically repeat the title of the EP, but it's actually a blessing in disguise, because most SEIYUU artists usually try to make things, or usually their composers or producers try to make things a bit too cheesy for my taste, for example. But in this case, we have pop rock really well done, really exciting. We have a sound that actually matches Shoya Chiba's vocals. It doesn't sound like he's straining his voice at all, at any time. So it is really good to see that he's really comfortable doing what he wants, what he likes, and he's delivering that without making that much of an effort. But that's not all in this EP. The EP has 5 songs, 4 songs are pop rock. Actually, even within those 4 songs, 3 are pop rock and 1 is emo rock, shoegaze and post-rock, which is to say a really slow, melancholic and almost depressing style of rock song. I like that type of music. Usually most people do not like that type of music because it is really depressing. But in some way I find that type of music to be really good to showcase the talents and the emotional range that a singer has. In that case, with the instrumental so slow-paced and with a massive focus on having everything panned in the background and actually making sure that the instruments are not that close to you, they are actually reverbing in the background, it makes the perfect stage for the vocals to stand out, and the focus is full on the vocals. And that's massive pressure usually for rookie SEIYUU artists to actually do that kind of thing of being without too much noise around them to mask their, I should say, imperfections or their the things they are weakest with. In this case, Shoya Chiba was that confident to the point that he has a song in this style or in this mixture of styles that works really well, but it's really, really unforgiving to the voice. So if he did any mistakes, it would be easily noticeable. And in this case, there aren't any mistakes, and he delivers a powerful performance that leaves a mark. We have 3 pop rock songs, 1 that is basically emo rock, shoegaze and post-rock, and then we have the surprise of the show. We have a song that he's all about, nu disco, which is crazy. Nu disco with R&B coming from Shoya Chiba. I was not expecting this, but then again I remember he signed to King Amusement Creative. This was bound to happen, wasn't it? So if this was bound to happen, at least I wanted this to be really well done. Well, you need to listen to Kanjuro, because if you haven't, you do not know what you are going to get in there. It's hands down one of the best songs released so far in 2024. And for me, quite possibly one of my favorite songs released in the past 2 or 3 years. It is really, really addictive. And when it comes to these mixture of genres, nu disco, disco pop, and in some way R&B, there are very few artists actually doing this thing. It's only Yumuchida who does this quite frequently, although in his recently released 3rd album, Why, he didn't do that as much as usual. And there's also Mamoru Miyano, who usually does these quite frequently. But if you look back to his discography, you will find that he didn't do that for big chunks of his career. He did that in some particular times. So there are very few artists or male SEIYUU artists that actually tackle R&B music. I do not know why. But at the same time, I have a theory, but I'm not going to delve into that theory. Otherwise, this podcast would completely derail into a tangent about R&B music and male SEIYUU artists. I might talk about that in another episode. This EP counts with 5 songs, you may already know, of course. I'm not saying anything groundbreaking or really smart right now. But yeah, we have 5 songs in here. We have I'll Be, High Five, Kanjoron, Wish, and Blessing. Usually male seiyuu artists that want to tackle or cater, in this case cater to international fans, they will choose to have the names or the titles of the songs in English, which is something that usually artists that only focus in Japan will, on the other hand, have the titles mostly in Japanese, and seldom do they have titles in English. As you can see right from the start, Shoya Chiba is not aiming at only achieving popularity in Japan, is actually aiming worldwide, which is a really good focus. And thank God King Amusement Creative is focused on making sure that he actually reaches more people beyond Japan, because he's really talented and deserves so. And we have, of course, those 5 songs. We open this EP with I'll Be, a song featuring lyrics by Shoya Chiba, and this song is a relay of everything that you like about Shoya Chiba on the vocal end. And if you do not like anything about Shoya Chiba, or you know very little about him, this is the perfect greeting card for you to understand just why he's one of the most exciting talents among male seiyuu, and why since 2020 he has been pitched as one of the most talented up-and-coming singers among male seiyuu. It is ridiculous how good he is. And in I'll Be, he shows exactly that. He's all about the falsetto, the high notes, the flourishes, ad-libs. He's powering his way through the song. The song is really fun. It is all about pop rock, and you do not catch a break in that song. It is fun as hell, and you want to listen to it more and more and more. And I feel it is one of the best ways to open an EP. It's with that mindset of being exciting and excited about the music. Because oftentimes you listen to a CD by male seiyuu making a solo debut, and the songs sound so robotic, not in the sense that they sound like you have a robot in there, but robotic in the sense that they sound so emotionless and so ridiculously professional to a point that it's no longer okay, that sometimes I wonder why they chose those songs to open the CDs. And in this case, we have a song that shouts and screams excitement, and it is a palpable excitement. You notice that this isn't faked. This is actually true excitement, and it shows in the lyrics, and it shows in the performance that Shoya Chiba is delivering. It is amazing. High Five is an interesting turn of events. For those of you that like the pop side of things, this is going to be the song for you, because it is more radio-friendly than any other song in this EP. I should say that maybe Kanjoron is actually more radio-friendly, but still, High Five is the type of song that you would find a male seiyuu artist performing. It is a bit cliché in that aspect, but still it goes outside of those clichés to deliver a performance that is really fun. My only qualm about this song is the synths, which I believe they do not make much sense within this song. They are not adding anything new to the song. They aren't really improving as well the song. Why do I say this? Because usually when you are composing a song, you will find yourself in that trap of adding another instrument, another element, another hit, another snare, another something in the background. And when you notice you have your DAW with a timeline that has over 40 different instrument snippets being used in the song, and then you have too much happening in the background, the people that are listening to the song do not even notice those unless they have hi-fi equipment at home and really good headphones to actually notice those nuances. We should really notice that most people do not have high quality headphones with them because they do not have the budget for that, or they do not even bother with it because they just want to listen to music. They do not want to be like myself, diving into the little details in the background. Otherwise, music is no longer music, is actually an essay. For me, it's a mix of both. But when you are composing a song, you do not want to make it overly complicated. You want to make it simple, and you want to make sure that each element that you add to a song and to the composition is there with a purpose. They have a function. They are adding something new to the song or really making something shine. In this case, I found the synths to be there just using space. They are not adding anything to the song. The song would work really well without the synths. and maybe the synths would have worked in a different way had the song been composed in a different way. But in this case, I found the synths to be a bit too much in the song, and it was something that made me not give full marks to this track. Then we have, of course, the show stealer, Kanjoron. Kanjoron is actually the best song in this EP. I was not the type of person that was expecting here a dance track, and I was not the type of person that was going to be excited about the dance track in Shoya Chiba's EP. I said that before. But actually, I found myself listening to this EP, and this song was the one that stayed with me a whole lot. It's really, really addictive, and when I say that I'm not the type of person that enjoys pop music, I usually listen to rock music and jazz. Those are my two favorite music genres. When I listen to pop music, I usually, I listen to it and that's all. That's over. I listened to it, I enjoyed it, but I really do not want to return to it unless it's really, really good. In this case, Kanjoron, it's not even a case of returning to it. I never left it. I left it on repeat, and I found myself thinking, yeah, I need to actually wrap up this review, otherwise people will not get the review on time. And I said that I was going to release the review on time, and since I made that pledge to release things on time, I was under pressure with the CD being time sensitive. It was released in that day, I wanted to review it in that day, and I wanted to post it in that day. It was too much pressure in the same day, but I actually handled it well. So returning to what I was talking about, Kanjuro is a really good song. You should listen to it. If you haven't, you should. I found myself enjoying this song a whole lot, and really, it is one of those songs in which you can see how much of a vocal range Shoya Chiba has, because most of the song, I was thinking that I was listening to Gakuto Kajiwara. The cadence was really, really close, and the tone was even closer. I'm not saying that it sounds exactly the same, but if you listen to his performance in there are really plenty of moments in which it is uncanny how close he sounds with Gakuto Kajiwara. It is a good thing because Gakuto Kajiwara is an amazing singer, so to find those parallels in here was really fun. Of course, it sounds like Shoya Chiba, but there's a flair in there that reminds me a lot about Gakuto Kajiwara, and I love it a whole lot. This is a danceable song, so prepare yourself to dance along to it. This is a song that requires you to have headphones when you are listening to it, because there is a specific panning to the left and to the right in which the sound will move from the left to the right. And that is only really well noticeable if you have headphones on. So this is a song that requires you to actually pay attention to it and will make you want to participate. Then we have Wish. Wish is a song that, as I said before, is all about emo rock, post-rock and shoegaze rock, three sub-music genres within rock music, which are not usually explored by male SEIYUU artists. The only male SEIYUU artist that was exploring those three sub-music genres was Soma Saito up until now, with the best examples being in My Beautiful Valentine and in Yin Yang. In this case, Shoya Chiba went all out with Wish, and this song is sad as hell, it is melancholic as hell, it is so emotional to the point that you can actually notice his vocal range and emotional range in this performance. He's screaming his heart out, but he's not really screaming. Just the way that he delivers the performance makes it sound like he is screaming his heart out, and I do appreciate this a whole lot when singers it's not really try, they really do resonate with the song and they deliver then the feelings and everything that is within those lyrics to you in a way that makes you feel something. This is when their emotional range really shines, and in this case Shoya Chiba is shining in Wish. This is one of those songs that deserves to be listened to in perfect silence. And wrapping up, you have Blessing. Blessing is such a fun song. It is really one of those songs that you really were going to expect as a debut song. It is upbeat, it is exciting, it is, in this case, in a really fast rock style, which I love a whole lot. It is really focused on putting Shoya Chiba's vocals shining, and to showcase at the same time almost like a summary of what you have in this EP. This song sounds like a summary of what the EP is all about. You have all the good things about it in it. Of course, you do not have anything from Kanjoron in Blessing. There's no elements whatsoever from there, but you have a good summary of what this EP actually is. Why do I say a summary? Usually the leading track in an EP or an album or even a mini album, it's the song that best summarizes an EP or that CD in specific. It's the song that you want to present to everyone because you think it is the best one to showcase just how good you are. And in this case, I feel that, of course, Kanjoron would be a best bet in here, but since he is going to be a pop rock artist under King Amusement Creative, it is really good to make a stance with a pop rock song. So this one ended up being quite exciting, the lyrics are really fun, and they have a really hopeful and exciting look at his future, which is really, really awesome. And of course we need to add that Shoya Chiba wrote as well the lyrics here for the song. So we fans need to be actually thankful that he took the time to create the opening and the ending to this EP, making sure that he opened as he wanted and wrapped it up as he wanted as well. So he had control on how the EP actually stands and how it feels, which I appreciate a whole lot. And it made sense because now you can listen to this EP and feel like it comes full circle. The start and the end are as exciting, they tie up perfectly. It's basically made to be listened on loop. So what is my take on this? If you actually read the review that is on THTFHQ.com, you will understand that I really, really loved it. And if you watched the episode or that short video that I created on the 6 things that I enjoyed the most in this EP, you will understand that I find this EP to be one of the best in the past 10 years. Some will think, well, you are exaggerating, in here there were other debuts that were much, much better. Really, this is something that is, first of all, subjective, because you may think different things from me, you may enjoy different music genres, you may like different voices, so that affects right off the bat which is going to be the solo debut that you consider the best. I approach this EP in a completely different lens. Of course, I am a fan of Shoya Chiba. Of course, I enjoy his voice a whole lot. And I appreciate his growth as an artist and even as a performer, and that's from that standpoint that I am saying that his solo debut and this EP specifically are really, really good. He actually made an effort to grow, and he has shown that in various 2D music genres over the years, and he has been quite adamant since 2020 to deliver the best of the best and learning from the best at the same time. He has taken a lot of inspiration from Toshiki Toyonaga from his work in Erosion in the Cornelian Blood franchise. He has taken a lot from the emotional range and the delivery, the kind of lyrical booming delivery of Makoto Furukawa and Toshiki Masuda from the Visual Prison franchise. And he's taken a lot of inspiration from another tenor, just like Toshiki Toyonaga, which is to say Soma Saito, from his work together, or from their work together in the Tokyo Color Sonic franchise. So he has been learning from the best singers among male seiyuu, some of the best singers among male seiyuu, and is really doing his best towards impressing you and showcasing that actually he's a really good singer and he can be on route to become as good, let's say, even better than some of the seiyuu he has learned from, which would be quite amazing to happen, actually. So he's really talented, he's really passionate about it, and he made sure that this CD, he sounded mature all the time, but not mature because the songs are mature. He sounded like someone that was already with 10, 20 years of career. It doesn't sound like someone making a solo debut, mind you. Seiyuu, when they make solo debuts, they are really, really obvious, and when you listen to their songs a couple of years later, you notice just how unprepared and how unconfident they were. In this case, Shoya Chiba is so confident and is so mature throughout, and both the compositions and his performances show that he's so at home with this EP. He's in his element, and if this is him being quite comfortable, still even nervous, because this is a solo debut, of course there are some stresses and nerves in here, but even with these, he delivered something that could be or could pass as a second or a third CD of already veteran artists, and he's doing an amazing job. Then you have the care, of course, to create or write the lyrics to the opening and ending songs in this EP. I find this to be crucial in showcasing and making a statement that he's actually putting a lot of effort into his music, and he wants for you to notice that he will continue to do so, and that he's focused on showing who he is as a composer or who he is as a lyricist. So I look at this EP as one of the best in the last 10 years. It is an amazing solo debut. You will say, but yeah, you have Kentito, who debuted with Mayonaka no Love and is amazing. And yes, he is amazing, and yes, he deserves all the love you can give, but that was a digital single. There was only one song for you to measure how good he was. Was he good in that? Of course he was, but there's only one song in there. It was actually in Hanabi that he showed just how amazing he can be with a collection of songs. In this case, I feel that a collection of songs is the best way to showcase a debut or a rookie SEIYUU artist. You need at least 2 songs to actually make an impact and show at least 2 different sides to an artist. You making a solo debut with only a digital single, it's a bit risky because you are putting all the marbles in one thing, and if it works, you are tied to doing that yet again if you want to be successful. So it's best to always release an EP or a mini album. I'm not going to say an album because that's overkill, but at least releasing 2 or 3 songs for people to gauge if they actually want to engage with their music, if they actually should be excited about their music, or if their music is for them or not. In this case, I believe Shoya Chiba made the case for himself, showed that he is going to continue to release pop rock music, I believe so, and that this is the standard of quality for him. From here on, he's going to only improve upon this, which is already quite exciting. So yeah, I believe this is one of the best debuts in the past 10 years. I'm not going to take back what I just said, and this is one solo debut that makes me quite excited to see what he can pull off next. So let's see what he does. Well, as you can tell, time flew by as we were talking about Shoya Chiba's first EP, Blessing. I am quite in love with this EP, and I believe I'm still going to be talking about it by the end of the year, which is a good thing, which is a good sign, which makes me quite excited for what Shoya Chiba may release next, because if he was this good right now, imagine him with more experience on top of him. Imagine him with even more creative freedom. Imagine him doing everything he loves as a solo artist. This can be really, really good and crazy at the same time, so I'm quite excited to see what he can pull off. This is an odd partnership with King Amusement Creative, because they are not usually a music label for rock artists, especially male SEIYUU. Almost all male SEIYUU signed to King Amusement Creative or King Records, they are performing pop music, not necessarily rock day in, day out. You will say, but Yumuchi is actually performing rock as of late. Yeah, but it's not the core of his music. The core of his music is pop and R&B. It's not rock music. Rock music is not that common in his repertoire, if you pay closer attention. So in this case, Shoya Chiba is actually doing something completely different, so I'm quite curious to see how this partnership with King Amusement Creative can work and how it may lead to really amazing things in the future. I'm hoping for that, and I hope you are as well quite excited as me for this to happen. So let me know in the comments on YouTube and Spotify which were your impressions about this EP, if you enjoyed it or not, which were the things that you didn't enjoy and what would you change in the EP if that's the case. And of course, remember, leave your comments as complex or as simple as they may be, and you can be featured on upcoming episodes of SEIYUU Lounge. If you enjoyed this episode and don't want to miss the hand that feeds HQ's weekly male SEIYUU and music-related content, hit the subscribe button. And remember, if you are listening to this episode on a podcast listening platform, please consider following the podcast and leaving a review. Leaving a review is really simple and helps other people find this podcast and fall in love with male SEIYUU artists and 2D groups. I'll return next week with another episode of SEIYUU Lounge. Thank you for listening, and see you guys around.